In this series, we are visiting Foodie Nagoya, Japan's fourth largest city, located between Tokyo and Kyoto. We discover how this yakitori restaurant received Michelin plate. We talk to one of Japan's most experienced chefs, creating super sushi for over 50 years. And look at the secret of one of Japan's favorite imports, the Korean barbecue. We visit a historic museum that celebrates a global brand of Japanese vinegar. All this and much more. Please write in the comment below if you have any questions to me or these chefs. I'll ask them and come back to you.
どうもありがとうございます。田中さんこんばんは。はい。
I was very curious to hear about a yakitori restaurant in Nagoya, which received Michelin plate honor.
We are in Yakitori restaurant in Japan. Now, Mr. Tanaka's Yakitori restaurant has got a Michelin plate. How come Yakitori restaurant can get a Michelin plate, right? Now, he's been perfecting his Yakitori in every way. Now, I want to find out how.
I thought yakitori is such an easy and informal food, even for Japanese.
ああ、はいはい。
フレンチはそれが上がったり、
はい。
結構大変なんで。
はい。
Mr. Tanaka started this restaurant 28 years ago, together with his brother, who was studying French cooking.
だいぶ早くなってきてるんですけど、やっぱり最近
Generally, it takes around 4 to 5 years to become a yakitori chef, and by the looks of it, Mr. Tanaka would be a great teacher.
あまり、言ってないんですけど、
はい
基本は、化学調味料
For him, one of the most important ingredients for his great yakitori is salt. He couldn't find the exact salt he wanted, so he decided to make his own.
うまみとして感じら
なるほど、
れるので
なるほど、はい。
それを
Now he mixes umami, a combination of seaweed and bonito, with salt to create his own very special and unique cooking salt.
同じ肉に見えても、
はい
塩を反映させやすい部位と
One of the most important skills yakitori chef needs to learn is the quantities of salt for each ingredient to bring out the best flavor.
毎回作るんですけど、
はい。
He added that the saltiness of the salt he makes is slightly different every day, so the chef have to adapt the quantity of salt he uses daily.
例えばこういうのでこうじゃなくて、
はい
Using a salt mill in this kitchen is not allowed. The salt is always added with fingers to control the exact amount. Wow, he says this is such hot work.
Mr. Otsuka is the head chef here, and he's the tencho here, and then he's going to show us this most difficult skill yakitori chef needs to learn.
Mr. Tanaka's head chef showed me just how meticulous the preparation of the yakitori skill is.
When you put this on the grill, it cooks at exactly the same speed.
Important points for perfect yakitori is the size and the cut of the meat pieces, the firmness of leeks,
硬いとやっぱり焼けづらい
which affects where they are placed on the individual skewers, and ensuring a consistent weight for all skewers so that every stick is cooked to perfection.
炭についてお伺いしたいんですけれども、
はいはい
これは特に
The fire bed is also a vital element of cooking great yakitori, as some part of the chicken needs high heat and others need low. So they must be able to sustain these different temperatures in the same coal bed.
それをずっと最後までキープする
And of course, the fire must be consistent throughout the whole evening.
同じ温度で
And anyone who cooks regular barbecues will know how difficult that
それ
is.
から時々お箸でこうやって、
はいはい
やって食べるから
Each yakitori skewer should be eaten immediately from the top of the skewer down. This will give you flavor of each item as they are designed.
部位も同じ部位でもいろいろ種類があるんで、
はい。
Please don't pull the skewer apart, as this is a no-no. It's a bit like destroying a work of art, and the artists, the chefs, don't like it.
自分の串が自分の目の前に出るように、
Each new dish will be delivered according to your eating speed, so the food is always hot.
フレンチとかイタリアンに当然あるような手法も
This is a skill Mr. Tanaka's brother learned from serving French cuisine.
基本的に同じようなオーダーをお願いしてます。
What should I drink with yakitori was my final question to Mr. Tanaka.
今はやっぱりワインの方もすごい多いです。
He says yakitori is so versatile and it goes with a variety of
あとは
drinks. Maybe start with a beer, and if you want to make a night of it, Then a nice wine.
焼酎行って、
はい
ウイスキー行ってという
Then perhaps shochu and the whiskey to finish the evening. Sounds good. The atmosphere in the restaurant was brilliant, and Mr. Tanaka's team seemed totally devoted to the food and the happiness of us customers. His restaurant Kinboshi richly deserves the Michelin Plates award. Every mouthful was different and delicious. Cheers to Mr. Tanaka! This is the world-famous MIZKAN Vinegar Museum. The spread of sushi throughout Japan was helped by the unique flavor of vinegar. The MIZKAN Vinegar Museum is fascinating and very visual. You realize that there is such an interesting history behind this everyday ingredient. If you cook Japanese food, you must be familiar with Japanese vinegar. You will have tasted it often. Vinegar was made from rice and very expensive, but Mr. Nakano developed a method which used cheap byproducts of sake production in the 19th century. This new vinegar had a unique flavor and was perfectly matched to sushi, contributing to the spread of sushi throughout the country.
We are in Chiba Sushi Bar, which one of my very close friends recommended, Mr. and Mrs. Tsunashima, and they think this is fantastic sushi place, isn't it?
This is the best sushi shop in Japan. I strongly recommend this sushi bar all over the world.
Wow.
The people.
The man making all the noise is Mr. Chiba, whose restaurant has a fantastic reputation across Nagoya for the past 35 years.
I'm going to ask lots of questions about sushi to him, and him as a professional going to answer for me.
キハダマグロ、インドマグロ、カンパ、クルマエビ、スミイカ、タコ、トリガイ、タイラガイ、カニミ、コモチコ、
He certainly knows
カツノ
everything about his
コハ
fish.
ダだから20年近くの修行です。
But 50 years ago, when he started, chefs didn't like to share their secrets, so he learned his trade as a young man, practicing when the head chef wasn't watching, and finally opened his own restaurant, which is where we are today.
新米は水の量がわからないんです。
ああ、なるほど。
水がどれだけ含んでるか。
Some of you might know there are newly cropped rice
置いてあるもんで、
and old rice in Japan.
水を吸うかっていうのは
Generally, Japanese much prefer to eat new rice, as it's soft, fluffy, shiny, and slightly sweet. We just love our new rice. But I was very surprised to learn that sushi chefs use old rice. The reason is that the quantity of water to cook new rice varies depending on the rice. So to achieve the same quality each time, sushi chefs use the old rice. Mr. Chiba is an expert in making perfect sushi, but he reminded me that one of the most important skills for sushi chefs is how to prepare rice without it getting stuck to your hands. He looked very good at it.
サバとか
The key ingredient of sushi is obviously fish, and to be able to eat it raw means it has to be extremely fresh.
This is tonight's sushi.
Mr. Chiba serves a wide variety of fish and explains that generally 7 to 8 hours after fish are caught is the best time to eat them, as they start producing amino acid, which is umami for Japanese people.
It's very early in the morning. We are in Yanagibashi fish market, where Mr. Chiba gets his fish every morning, so he can serve the freshest catch of the day in his restaurant.
なんか8時間置くとアミノ酸が出てきて魚の旨味がなってくるんです。
These fish are caught early morning and served from lunchtime, and he and his son alternately go to the fish market every morning at 4 a.m.
Wow.
As well as ensuring the fish purchased each morning are high quality, sushi chefs have to be aware of the maturing time of each fish species, which affects their taste.
それと僕らはいつもこの三重県っていうのは名古屋の
Buying the right fish and looking for the best catches to complement his menu is a very important part of Mr. Chiba's day. This is why he suggests customers should always ask for the chef's recommendation. Be clear about what you like and dislike, and you'll be offered their best catch of the day and the price is a lot more reasonable compared to ordering individual items from the menu. Remember, the chef wants to see you again, so you will always be offered the best.
やっぱりそこの店の味ってあって、やっぱり甘い。
Another vital part of preparation is the egg omelette.
Right, so egg in sushi restaurants is extremely important. Now his son is going to show you how to cook the egg in sushi. 20g, so 5 eggs and 20g sugar.
The egg omelette is a
pinch of
vital
salt.
part of great sushi experience.
Soy sauce.
As Mr. Chiba explains, there will be very little difference in the taste of raw fish.
Kombu is a seaweed and the bonito's dashi.
So every chef will show their skills in creating their perfect egg omelette to differentiate his restaurant.
Any oil, vegetable oil.
Mr. Chiba's son has this down to a fine art. I've heard a long time ago that many sushi lovers eat the egg omelette first to check the sushi chef's skill.
And finally, oh
my, not only sushi chefs, but also their customers have been refining their sushi tasting skills for years.
なるほどなるほど。
The egg recipe will be in the details below. Please check.
結構昔から卵はそこの店の味。
There are many Japanese people who can't get enough sushi. We call them sushi maniac. I wanted to know what their preferences were.
小肌、
He told me that these people usually order kohada or saba first.
サバ、
Japanese call them hikarimono, which means shiny. Shiny fish are often served with their skin on and are cooked, not raw.
あとは握り方のそこの人それぞれの握り方があるんです。
So the preparation of these hikarimono is another sushi chef's skill which their customers can appreciate. Wow! Now I'm beginning to understand how these chefs have been perfecting the art of sushi for hundreds of years in Japan.
自分自体が飲めないもんで、
Mr. Chiba doesn't drink at all, so he's no expert, but I asked if his customers preferred sake, as it's certainly my preference. He said that once beer and shochu weren't suitable with sushi, although recently shochu has come into favor for health reasons. He really thought it didn't matter too much as long as you enjoy it. The restaurant Chiba Sushi is a tribute to the family who have run it so well for so long. We are in Korean barbecue restaurant. We are in Japan, in Nagoya. Korean barbecue restaurant, Rion in Nagoya, where Mr. Tanabe owns place, and they serve the fantastic Korean barbecue using Japanese wagyu. So I just want to find out how he does it. Japanese love Korean barbecue. Mr. Tanabe explains about the part of cow where these meats are from. They are all slightly different tenderness, texture, and fat content. Recently, many people in his restaurant prefer the meat without too much fat, probably for health reasons. But the meat with less fat tends to be tougher, so he has to find the best in the middle, which has reasonable fat with a tenderest texture.
This is wagyu one. This is American beef.
He also chooses the meat from a variety of areas in Japan.
So I put on the wasabi.
Yes.
For example, he purchased the best fillet from any region, but he won't buy it if he can't find the quality he needs on the day.
And this is probably the most expensive one.
The popularity of Wagyu in Japan is going up every year, but the production is limited.
We're going to try American halami.
He thinks lots of Korean barbecue restaurants in Japan are using American or Australian beef, which are reasonably priced as they are mass-produced.
もうこれって私
Later, he brought us the very special Korean sake, which I thought went very well with the barbecue,
Korean sake made in Japan.
as it had much more dense and rich flavor. So that was a fitting end to a fantastic meal, as I remember. The next day, we went to the seafood barbecue restaurant where you can cook your own totally fresh fish and shellfish on the beach.
We are in Uotaro restaurant where can you see freshly caught seafood every day, pick your own and then barbecue it yourself. It's a fantastic place.
This reminded me that food and its preparation is so important in Japan, And everywhere you go, you will find traditional food and traditional restaurants. But there is always innovation in food preparation and presentation. Japan loves its fresh food, and the fascinating historic city of Nagoya is a hidden gem. Time to leave Nagoya and head for home.
Our train to Tokyo leaves at 10:26. It's got on time. I am on the bullet train Shinkansen from Nagoya to Tokyo. It takes 1 hour 40 minutes at this moment, but with a new train they are developing, it will only take 40 minutes. Now we are passing Mount Fuji. Now, many years ago, the Shinkansen bullet train was between Tokyo and Shin Osaka. That was it. And then now it's been developed all over Japan, from Tokyo to top of the north of Hokkaido to the southernest Kyushu. You can get anywhere, all over Japan in a matter of few hours time. But this new linear motor car they are developing, they float on the rails and it moves with a magnet. So it doesn't touch anything. You basically float in the air and it just goes as a matter of seconds. So it will be available for you in 10 years' time.
Japan is packed full of history, top-notch hospitality, beautiful scenery, and world-famous and very healthy cuisine. I'm hopeful to get back soon, maybe around Kyoto, and show you more about my wonderful country, Japan. I hope you enjoyed my Secret Japan series. Please thumbs up, leave comment and subscribe if you haven't done it. I hope to see you soon. In Japan!